Chapter 1 1.1 by Dr. Ong. 1.1 Background of the study. Full DBA level guide for students who already have an MBA. Purpose of the background of the study. The background of the study is the foundation upon which the rest of your dissertation is built. It sets the stage by providing the reader with the necessary context to understand the research problem, the environment in which it exists, and the relevance of the study within the broader body of academic and professional knowledge. For DBA candidates, particularly those who have already earned an MBA, this section is where you demonstrate the intellectual shift from applied business problem-solving MBA level to knowledge advancement through scholarly research DBA level. While MBA projects often emphasize immediate organizational solutions, DBA research must address broader, systemic, and theoretical contributions to the discipline of business and management. Why this section is critical. In doctoral level business research, your reader, whether a dissertation committee, journal reviewer, or industry stakeholder, expects to see 1. Clear, multi-layered context global, industry, organizational. 2. Evidence-based justification for why the research is needed now. 3. Connection to existing theories and the identification of where those theories may be incomplete or inadequate. 4. Relevance to practice for executives, policymakers, and other stakeholders. Without a well-structured background, the problem statement can appear unfounded, the research questions may seem arbitrary, and the contribution of your study will lack clarity. The DBA difference in background writing. MBA level background writing often answers. What's the problem in this company? What data do we have to describe it? How can we fix it? DBA level background writing answers. How does this problem fit into a global business context? What systemic factors have contributed to it? How does it relate to existing theories? What's missing in the literature? Why does solving this matter for the advancement of business knowledge and practice? Structuring the background of the study. A strong background of the study for a DBA dissertation typically flows in the following order. 1. Global context. Start with macro-level forces affecting the field. Use credible sources like World Bank, OECD, IMF, UNCTAD, etc. 2. Industry context. Narrow the focus to your specific industry, referencing industry reports and scholarly analyses. 3. Organizational context. If applicable, describe the specific organization or type of organization at the heart of your study. 4. Theoretical context. Introduce key theories or frameworks that are relevant to your problem. 5. Gap and need for research. End with a segue into the problem statement by hinting at the knowledge gap. 1. Global context example DBA level. If your study is on supply chain resilience in manufacturing. Global manufacturing supply chains have undergone significant transformations over the past 3 decades due to globalization, technological advancement, and increased competition. The COVID-19 pandemic disrupted over 90% of Fortune 1000 companies. Accenture, 2021, revealing systemic vulnerabilities in sourcing, logistics, and supplier diversification strategies. According to the World Trade Organization, 2022 global merchandise trade volumes fell by 5.3% in 2020, with severe regional disparities. The resilience of supply chains has therefore become a focal point not only for corporate strategy but also for national economic security. This contextual opening immediately signals to your reader that your study operates within a significant, well-documented global phenomenon. 2. Industry context example DBA level. Continuing with the supply chain resilience topic. Within the electronics manufacturing sector, reliance on a limited number of semiconductor suppliers has created concentrated risk. The 2021 semiconductor shortage caused estimated revenue losses exceeding $110 billion globally, IDC, 2022. Industry leaders have acknowledged that traditional just-in-time inventory systems, while cost-effective under stable conditions, fail to absorb shocks of this magnitude. Emerging literature calls for a re-evaluation of risk management practices within the sector, yet empirical research on how mid-tier manufacturers adapt to these disruptions remains sparse. This middle layer situates the reader within a specific industry environment while hinting at a research gap. 3. Organizational context example DBA level XYZ Electronics, a mid-sized manufacturer based in Southeast Asia, experienced a 35% production decline in 2021 due to supply chain disruptions. XYZ Electronics, a mid-sized manufacturer based in Southeast Asia, experienced a 35% production decline in 2021 due to supply chain disruptions. Despite implementing standard risk management protocols, the company was unable to maintain contractual obligations with key international buyers. This raises questions about the efficacy of prevailing risk management models when applied to mid-sized firms in volatile global markets. At the DBA level, this section is optional unless your research has a strong organizational focus, but when included, it must still connect to a broader theoretical and industry context. 4. Theoretical context. In your background, you must briefly identify which theories are relevant to your problem. This is not the full literature review, just enough to show the reader you're grounding your research in scholarship. Example. Greater than, resource dependency theory, Pfeffer and Salensic, 1978 suggests that organizations depend on external entities for critical resources and must manage these dependencies to reduce vulnerability. However, this theory has not been extensively tested in the context of pandemic-scale disruptions affecting multiple supply tiers simultaneously. By doing this, you link your research to established thought while also hinting at its potential contribution. 5. The knowledge gap. A powerful background section leads naturally to the knowledge gap. Greater than, while global supply chain literature has addressed risk diversification and supplier redundancy, there is limited empirical research on how mid-sized electronics manufacturers in emerging markets develop adaptive resilience strategies post-COVID-19. This absence of focused study leaves a critical void in both academic theory and managerial practice. This sets up your problem statement perfectly. Techniques for writing a strong background at DBA level. A. Use the funnel technique. Start wide, global, narrow to industry, then to organization, then to theory, then to gap. B. Balance academic and practical sources. Use a mix of peer-review journal articles and high-quality industry reports. C. Keep it analytical. Go beyond describing facts, interpret their significance and implications. D. Integrate theory early. Even in the background, theory should be present to anchor the discussion. Common weaknesses in background sections. 1. Too descriptive, reads like a Wikipedia entry instead of a scholarly analysis. 2. No theory, fails to connect to scholarly frameworks. 3. Narrow scope, jumps straight to a company's problem without showing broader significance. 4. Outdated data, relies on statistics or reports more than 5 years old without justification. Case study, strong vs. weak background writing. Strong example. Greater than, global e-commerce sales grew from $2.3 trillion United States dollars in 2017 to $5.7 trillion United States dollars in 2022, UNCTAD, 2023. This rapid growth has placed unprecedented pressure on last-mile delivery logistics, particularly in urban areas. The vehicle routing problem, VRP, and its derivatives provide theoretical frameworks for optimizing delivery efficiency, yet their application in congested megacities remains under research especially when considering environmental sustainability goals. Weak example. Greater than, e-commerce is growing and deliveries are harder to manage. This study will look at delivery problems. The difference lies in specificity, evidence, theory, and research gap identification. Final checklist for students before moving on. Have I clearly presented the global, industry, and organizational context? Have I supported claims with credible, recent data? Have I introduced relevant theories? Have I clearly hinted at the research gap? Does this section naturally lead into my problem statement?